1460 WVOX.
And now, Whitney Media, 1460 WVOX presents Westchester Meets Business with Marsha Gordon. Marsha Gordon is the president and CEO of the Business Council of Westchester. Now, here's Marsha Gordon.
Hello, everyone. Snow, snow, snow. We are sick of hearing about all of this snow, but I think we have very little choice in the matter, so we might as well hunker down and do some business. I don't know about you, but we've been able to get some good planning done, some good catching up on reading and phone calls and emails and lists. And fortunately, some of us can connect from home in these snowy, icy days. So please be safe. It's great to be here live today on WVOX and WVIP HD2. And you can call us live today if you're interested in our wonderful guest. I'm going to introduce her in a few minutes, Nivia Viera. So our phone number is 636-0110. And as you know, we are here each Monday at this time talking about business in Westchester County. And here we are at the end of the first month of the year. And I'm getting some really good signs that business is starting to pick up. People are doing business. The confidence level is increasing. So we're hopeful for a positive economic climate in 2011. As we all know, and as we've discussed on this show, so much of what the Business Council does is partner with other organizations and really bring together organizations who serve our community in many, many different ways. And one of those organizations is Kids Express, and I have the wonderful winter 2011 edition of Kids Express right in front of me. Nivia, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
And I always love the tagline, "The World from a Kid's Eye View," and they are this year celebrating 10 years of great success in business. So I am very pleased to introduce as my guest today on WVOX Westchester Meets Business, Nivia Viera. She is the founder and publisher of Kids Express. Welcome.
Marsha, thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, it's great to have you here. So let's start at the very beginning. What is Kids Express? Tell us a little bit about background, how you came to be, and what Kids Express is today.
Well, it's been a journey, and I'm glad you mentioned the world from a kid's eye view, because in this 10-year anniversary, that is going to be the tagline for our anniversary campaign. But as background, Kids Express's mission is really to encourage children to read, write, and create artistic expression. And then we acknowledge that wonderful work that they do by publishing them in a magazine called Kids Express. It really gives them a voice.
You know, and just looking at this magazine, it is really, it's so appealing. It's so eye-catching and child and adult friendly.
Thank you. We spent a lot of time, my graphic designer, Gabby, and I, and many of my volunteers, taking special care in producing a publication that would appeal to many audiences, and in particular our kids who participate. They are 7 to 14-year-olds who create this wonderful content through after-school programs and many youth organizations, and we actually have independent submitters as well. We have a great program called KXP on Call. I know that last time that was one of your favorites.
Yeah, and who participates in KXP?
KXP on Call is really special. It's our journalism program, and kids in all communities, wherever we're covering a public interest story, doing an interview, a Broadway show review, we draft kids in all communities to participate. We have them generate questions, teach them how to comport themselves in an interview, and then they have to write the story. During that program, we have covered the tsunami from years back, the inauguration of President Obama, and the oil spill was a big interest this past spring.
You know, what I'm hearing, Nivia, my guest is Nivia Viera. She's the founder and publisher of Kids Express. I'm Marsha Gordon from the Business Council of Westchester, and we're here live on WVOX Worldwide and WVIP HD2. What I'm hearing about Kids Express, Nivia, is that, yes, the magazine is the product, but really what you're about sounds to me to be about writing and education and thinking and life skills for children as well.
It is a unique way to accomplish all of those things that you mentioned. Our after-school program really boosts the self-confidence of many of our children. We encourage them in a safe and nurturing way, but it is enrichment. So they do have to do some writing and artistic expression. And as I said, we are in many communities, and our writing program is really unique in that it piques the interest of kids who might not think of themselves as authors. Mm-hmm. And so you're right, it is the core of the organization is this desire to keep them writing. And self-expression is very important. Writing is very personal.
Absolutely.
And a lot of the material they create is very personal and compelling.
So this Kids Express on-call press corps, what I understand you've had celebrities that the kids have interviewed. Who are they? What kind of stories have they covered?
This is the fun part for me because without them, I wouldn't meet these celebrities. I got to be honest with you.
We love meeting celebrities.
We do, and our readership loves it. So it's run the gamut from senators Clinton and Gillibrand, through Donald Trump, through rock stars like Miley Cyrus and Little Mama. So we've run quite a gamut of personalities, as I shall say. And kids have covered public interest stories as well and done Broadway reviews. And they love that part because they get to see a show and then go backstage. So that's a lot of fun.
And that's something that the Kids Express facilitates for the kids to be able to do this?
Absolutely. Kids Express, because we're around as long as we are, we get called upon to cover these events and cover these stories. So it's a nice position to be in after all this time.
So let's talk a little bit about the magazine. My guest is Nivia Viera. She's the founder and publisher of Kids Express. It's their 10th anniversary, and they look at the world from a kid's eye view. It's a magazine, right, for kids by kids.
It is, and it's the only one of its kind. It really is. We get compared to many other publications that are targeted and marketed to youth. Kids Express does that as well. However, it's entirely written by kids, or I should say 98%, because we do have an editorial and at times messaging that is written by an adult, but 98% of it is written by children.
So how often does the magazine come out?
The magazine is quarterly, and it matches the seasons. However, Kids Express produces other publications over a year's time. So often we've produced 6, 7, or 8 magazines, but Kids Express magazine is a quarterly publication.
And how many people read the magazine?
Well, we have an annual circulation of 160,000 copies.
Wow. And
over our 9.5-year existence, over 3 million readers we've had.
That's 3 million readers.
Yes.
Of Kids Express. That is an accomplishment.
It
Congratulations.
is. Thank you. It's a staggering number.
And how do people find it? How is it distributed? Where does it go?
Well, the good news is that it's primarily in libraries, so it's open to anyone who goes to a library, and we're in several cities across the country. So we have our home base of Westchester, New York.
We love it.
We love it a lot.
Building on our intellectual capital, right?
Exactly. Yes. And New York City, Newark, Philly, Chicago, and New Orleans. So we're setting our wings out into the country and building on that so that the next generation and the next 10 years increases our outreach.
That's great. My guest today is Nivia Viera. She's the founder and publisher of Kids Express. We are live. If you have a question for Nivia about her wonderful publication. Please call us on WVOX at 636-0110. And remember, you can always listen live at WVOX.com. I'm Marsha Gordon. I'm President and CEO of the Business Council of Westchester. And Kids Express is an integral part of our community and really gives a great impression for businesses in Westchester County. And we're going to talk about that a little later. Just kind of summing up, Nivia, Kids Express really seems to make a difference in kids' lives. Can you maybe share your perspectives on that and perhaps give some success stories?
I'd love to. At the heart of our organization is really giving children a voice. And to that end, they're encouraged to write and do artistic expression for our magazine. And what I've noticed over the last few years is that children who wouldn't think of themselves as authors, able to be published and read in the numbers that we have been speaking about, it really boosts their self-confidence. It enhances their language skills even when they don't realize that that's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. That's the best way to do it.
That is the best way to work with kids. And it prepares our youth for the workforce along with other educational programs. They're learning interviewing skills, project management, verbal communication, teamwork. I've seen kids really who might be withdrawn at times, get pulled into sharing their stories and getting feedback from their peers, and it's really awe-inspiring for me. That's what I get out of it, is when I work with kids in that way. So the business community and families and educational organizations all get to see the kids write and share a little bit about their world, and that's why we call it the world from a kid's eye view, because they do have a lot to say if we give them that chance, and that's what we do.
And just looking at this magazine, I'm just flipping through, the things they talk about are so interesting.